Morphology of flowering plants. Let's start with the root. In majority of the dicotyledonous plants, the direct elongation of the radicle leads to the formation of primary root. Primary root bears lateral roots of several orders that are referred to as secondary, tertiary, etc. The primary roots and its branches constitute taproot system. Roots arise from parts of the plant other than the radicle called adventitious roots. Roots originate from the base of the stem. Roots originate from the base of the stem. Fibrous root system. Primary roots is short-lived and is replaced by large number of roots in monocotyledonous root plants. Root system in wheat plant. Root system in wheat plant, fibrous root system. Root system in mustard plant, tap root system. Root system in the grass, monstera and the banyan tree, adventitious roots. Root system in dicotyledons, tap root system. Root system in monocotyledons, fibrous root system. The root is covered at the apex by a thimble-like structure called root cap. It protects the tender apex of the root as it makes its way through the soil, root cap. A few millimeters above the root cap is a region of meristematic activity. Structure of roots absorb water and minerals from the soil, root hairs. The cells of this region of root are very small, thin-walled and with dense protoplasm, region of meristematic activity. The cells of this region gradually differentiate and mature. Elongation zone. Proximal to region of elongation is called region of maturation. Cells of this region of root divide repeatedly, region of meristematic activity. From this region, some of the epidermal cells form very fine and delicate thread-like structures. Region of maturation. The cells proximal to region of meristematic activity undergo rapid elongation and enlargement and are responsible for the growth of the root in length. This region is called region of elongation. This region is called region of elongation. Epidermal cells form very fine and delicate thread-like structures from the region of maturation is called root hairs. Taproot gets swollen and store food in carrot and turnip. Taproots get swollen and store the food in carrot and turnip. Adventitious roots get swollen and store food in sweet potato. Hanging structures support banyan tree. Hanging structures support banyan tree, that is prop roots. Modified roots of maize in sugarcane, stilt roots. Nematophores of Rhizopora function help to get oxygen for respiration. Help to get oxygen for respiration. Stems have supporting roots coming out of the lower nodes of the stem are called stilt roots. Plants growing in swampy areas, many roots come out of the ground and grow vertically upward. Such roots are called nematophores. Next, let's go with the stem. Ascending part of the axis bearing branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits, that is stem, develops from the plumule of the embryo of a germinating seed, is the stem, bears nodes and internodes, that is stem. The region of the stem where leaves are born are called node. Portions between the two nodes is called internode. The stem bears dash which may be terminal or axillary buds. Color of young stem green. Color of old stem, that is woody and dark brown. The main function of the stem is spreading out branches bearing leaves, flowers, and fruits. Conducts water, minerals, and photosynthesis. Stem. Some stems perform the functions of storage of food, support and protection, and vegetative propagation. The stem may not always typically like what they are expected to be. They are modified to perform different functions. True or false? True. Example for underground stems which are modified to store food and in them: potato, ginger, turmeric, jemincand, colocasia. They also act as organs of perennation to tide over conditions unfavorable for growth. Underground stems. They protect plants from browsing animals. Thorns. Woody, straight and pointed thorns are developed from axillary buds. Stem tendrils are developed from axillary buds. Slender, spirally coiled structures which help plants to climb are called stem tendrils. Thorns, example. Thorn example, citrus and bougainvillea. Stem tendrils, example, gourds and grapevines. Cucumber, pumpkins, watermelon are collectively called gourds. The plant of arid region which modified their stem as flattened structure, Opuntia. Plant of arid region which modified their stem as flattened structure, Opuntia. Plant of arid region which modified their stem as a fleshy cylindrical structure, Euphorbia. Plant of arid region which modify their stems into flattened or fleshy cylindrical structure and they contain chlorophyll and carry out photosynthesis, Opuntia and Euphorbia. Underground stems of these plants spread to new niches, and when older parts die and new plants are formed, grass and strawberry. A slender lateral branch arises from the base of the main axis and after growing aerially from some time arch downwards to touch the ground in mint and jasmine. A lateral branch with short internodes and each node bearing a rosette of leaves and a tuft of roots is found in aquatic plants like Pistia and Eichhornia. The lateral branches originate from the basal and underground portion of the main stem, grow horizontally beneath the soil, and then come out obliquely upward, giving rise to leafy shoots. Banana, pineapple, and chrysanthemum. Leaf. Lateral, generally flattened structure born on the stem is called leaf. It develops at the node and bear a bud on its axil. Leaf. Axillary bud future develops as branch. Leaves originate from shoot apical meristem. Leaves originate from shoot apical meristem. Leaves arranged in an dash order, acropetal order. Leaves arranged in acropetal order. Most important vegetative organs for photosynthesis are leaves. A typical leaf consists of three main portions: leaf base, petiole, and lamina. The leaf is attached to the stem by the leaf base and may bear two lateral small leaf-like structures are called leaf base. Leaf attached to the stem by the leaf base and may bear two lateral small leaf-like structures are called stipules. The leaf base expands into a sheath covering the stem partially or wholly in monocotyledons. The leaf base becomes swollen, which is called pulvinous in some leguminous plants. Part of a leaf help to hold the blade to light, petiole. Long, thin, flexible structures, which allow leaf blades to flutter in wind, thereby cooling the leaf and bringing fresh air to leaf surface are petioles. Green expanded part of the leaf with veins and veinlets in is lamina or leaf blade. A middle prominent vein or leaf is called midrib. Structures of the leaf which provide rigidity to the leaf blade. Veins. Structures of leaf which acts as channels of transport for water, minerals, and food materials. Veins. The shape, margin, apex, surface, and extent of incision of lamina varies in different leaves. True. Leaves cannot be modified to perform functions other than photosynthesis. False. Arrangement of veins and the veinlets in the lamina of leaf is termed as venation. When the veinlet form a network, the venation termed as reticulate venation. When the veins run parallel to each other within a lamina, the venation termed as parallel venation. Reticulate venation commonly seen in dicotyledonous plants. Parallel venation is the characteristic feature of monocotyledons. If lamina of leaf is entire or well incised, incisions do not touch the midrib, such leaf is called simple leaf. If lamina or leaf is entire or well incised, the incisions do not touch the midrib, such leaf is called simple leaf. When the incisions of the lamina reach up to the midrib, breaking it into a number of leaflets, the leaf is called compound leaf. A bud is present in the axil of petiole, dash, but not in the axil of leaflets of the both simple and compound leaves. A bud is present in the axil of petiole in both simple and compound leaf, but not in the axil of leaflets of the compound leaf. Two types of compound leaves are pinnately compound leaf, and palmately compound leaf. If number of leaflets are present on a common axis, the rachis, which represent the midrib of the leaf, such compound leaf is called pinnately compound leaf. If the leaflets are attached at a common point, that is at the tip of petiole, such compound leaf is called palmately compound leaf. Type of compound leaf in silk cotton, palmately compound leaf. Type of compound leaf in neem is neem, pinnately compound leaf. Arrangement of leaves on the stem or branch is called phyllotaxy. This is usually of three types: alternate, opposite, and old. That is phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy is of three types. If a single leaf arises at each node in alternate manner, it is called alternate phyllotaxy. If a pair of leaves arise at each node and lie opposite to each other, it is called opposite phyllotaxy. If more than two leaves arise at a node and form a or, it is called old phyllotaxy. Type of phyllotaxy in Alstonia. Alstonia, old phyllotaxy. Type of phyllotaxy in Calotropis, opposite phyllotaxy. Type of phyllotaxy in China rose, alternate. In Gava, opposite. In mustard, alternate. Phyllotaxy in sunflower, alternate. Leaves are modified into tendrils in peas. Leaves are modified into spines in cacti. Leaves are modified as fleshy leaves to store food in onion and garlic. Onion and garlic. Leaves are small and short-lived in Australian acacia. Insectivorous plants. Venus flytrap and pitcher plant. Leaves are modified to trap insects in Venus flytrap and pitcher plant. Tendrils are used for climbing. Spines are used for defense. Petioles of this plant expand and become green and synthesize food in Australian acacia. The inflorescence. A flower is modified dash where in the dash changes to floral meristem. A flower is a modified shoot. A flower is a modified shoot where in the shoot apical meristem, changes to floral meristem. Dash do not elongate, and dash gets condensed. Internodes do not elongate and axis gets condensed. The apex produces different kinds of dash. The apex produces different kinds of floral appendages laterally at successive nodes instead of leaves. When a shoot tip transforms into a flower, it is always solitary. The arrangement of flowers on the floral axis is termed as inflorescence. Basis of classification of inflorescence. Depending on whether the apex gets developed into a flower or continues to grow. Two major types of inflorescences are defined, racemose and cymose. Type of inflorescences, the main axis continues to grow. The flowers are borne laterally in an acropetal succession in racemose type. Type of inflorescence, the main axis terminates in a flower, hence limited in growth in cymose type. The flowers are borne in a basipetal order in cymose type. The flowers are borne laterally in acropetal succession in racemose type. Flower. The flower reproductive unit in the angiosperms is flower. It is meant for sexual reproduction. Flower. Flower is meant for sexual reproduction. In symmetry, if the flower is radially symmetrical, it is called, in the symmetry, if the flower is radially symmetrical, it is called actinomorphic. In symmetry, if the flower is bilaterally symmetrical, it is called zygomorphic. When a flower can be divided into two equal radial halves in any radial plane passing through the center, it is said to be actinomorphic. Radially symmetrical, actinomorphic. When a flower can be divided into two similar halves only in one particular vertical plane, it is called zygomorphic. When a flower cannot be divided into two similar halves by any vertical plane passing through the center, it is called asymmetrical. Examples for actinomorphic. Mustard, datura, and chili. Mustard, datura, and chili. Actinomorphic, mustard, datura, and chili. Examples for zygomorphic. Zygomorphic examples: pea, gulmohar, bean, cassia. Pea, gulmohar, bean, and cassia. Example for asymmetrical flower. Asymmetrical flower, kanna. Example for asymmetrical flower, kanna. Example for radially symmetrical flowers, mustard, datura, and chili. Nothing but actinomorphic. Example for bilaterally symmetrical flower, pea, gulmohar, bean, cassia. Nothing but zygomorphic flower. A typical flower has 4 different kinds of whorls arranged successively on the swollen end of the stalk or pedicel is called thalamus or receptacle. 4 different kinds of whorls of flower are calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. Androecium and gynoecium. Accessory organs of flower. Accessory organs of flower, calyx and corolla. Calyx and corolla. Reproductive organs in flower. Reproductive organs in flower. Reproductive organs in flowers, androecium and gynoecium. Androecium and gynoecium. If calyx and corolla are not distinct in the flower, it is termed as perianth. If the flower has both androecium and gynoecium, it is called bisexual. The flower has only having either only stamen or only carpel, it is called unisexual. Example for perianth flower, lily. When the floral appendages are in multiple of 3, 4, or 5, they are respectively called as trimerous or tetramerous or pentamerous. Flowers with bracts or reduced leaf found at the base of the pedicel are called flowers with bracts and reduced leaf found at the base of the pedicel are called bracteals, bracteates. Flowers without bracts are called ebracteate. Based on the position of calyx, corolla, and androecium in respect of the ovary and thalamus, the flowers are described as hypogynous, perigynous, and epigynous. If the gynoecium occupies the highest position while the other parts are situated below it, such flower is called hypogynous flower. The margin of thalamus grows upward, enclosing the ovary completely and getting fused with it. The other parts of the flower arise above the ovary in epigynous flower. If gynoecium is situated in the center and other parts of the flower are located on the rim of the thalamus, almost at the same level, it is called perigynous flower. Plants with epigynous flower. Plants with epigynous flower, guava, cucumber, and ray florets of sunflower. Plants with hypogynous flower, mustard, China rose, and brinjal. Location plants with perigynous flower, plum, rose, peach. Location of ovary in epigynous flower, inferior. Location of ovary in hypogynous flower, superior. The ovary here is said to be half interior. The ovary here said to be half interior in perigynous flower. Identify the given example as perigynous, epigynous, or hypogynous. Guava, guava, epigynous. Mustard, hypogynous. Plum, plum, perigynous. Cucumber, cucumber, epigynous. Rose, rose, perigynous. China rose, China rose, hypogynous. Ray florets of sunflower, epigynous. Peach, peach, perigynous. Brinjal, brinjal, hypogynous. Each flower normally has 4 floral ovules, and they are calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. Outermost ovule of the flower is calyx. It is composed of petals, corolla. Members of this structure are called sepals, calyx. They are usually brightly colored to attract the insects for pollination. Petals. The shape and color of this structure vary greatly in plants. Corolla. They are generally green in color, leaf-like, and protect the flower in the bud stage. Sepals. It may be tubular, bell shape, funnel shape, or wheel shape. Corolla. If sepals are united, the sepals are united, calyx is called gamocephalous. If the sepals are free, the calyx is called polycephalous. If petals are united, corolla is called. If petals are united, the corolla is called gamopetalous. If petals are free, the corolla is called polypetalous. Mode of arrangement. Mode of arrangement of sepals or petals in floral bud with respect to the outer membranes of the same ovule is known as estivation. Main types of estivation are valvate, twisted, imbricate, and vexillary. When sepals or petals in a ovule just touch one another at the margin without overlapping, as in calotropes, it is said to be, oh my God, it is said to be valvate. It is said to be valvate. If one margin of the appendage overlap that the next one, if one margin of the appendage, the overlap the next one, and so on, it is called twisted. If the margins of sepals or petals overlap one another but not in any particular direction, the estivation is called imbricate. If there are 5 petals, the largest standard overlaps the 2 lateral petals, which in turn overlap the 2 smallest anterior petals called keel. This type of estivation known as vexillary or papillinaceous. Identify the given examples as valvate, twisted, imbricate, and vexillary. Calotropis, valvate. China rose, twisted. Cassia, imbricate. P. In pea plant, vexillary or papillinaceous. Lady's finger, twisted. Bean flowers, vexillary or papillinaceous. Gulmohar, imbricate. Cotton, twisted. Androecium is composed of stamens. Each dash which represent the male reproductive organ consists of a dash or and an. Each stamen which represents the male reproductive organ consists of a stalk or filament, or a anther, stalk or a filament and an anther. Bilobed structure which each lobe has 2 chambers in. Bilobed structure which each lobe has 2 chambers in anther. Pollen grains are produced in pollen sacs. Pollen sacs are present in each lobe of anther. A sterile stamen is called staminode. Dash of flower may be united with other members such as petals or among themselves. Stamen. If the stamens are attached to the petals, they are called epipetalous. If the stamens are attached to the perion, they are called epiphyllous. Example for epipetalous condition, brinjal. Example for epiphyllous condition, flowers of lily. Example for monoadelphous condition, China rose. Example for diadelphous condition, P. Polyadelphous condition, citrus. The stamens in flower, if remain free, it is called polyandrous. There may be a variation in the length of filaments within a flower. Example, salvia and mustard. The stamens in a flower may either remain free or may be united in varying degrees. True. If the stamens are united into one bunch or one bundle, it is called monoadelphous. If the stamens are united into 2 bundles, it is called diadelphous. If the stamens are united into more than 2 bundles, it is called polyadelphous. Female reproductive part in the flower is called gynoecium. Gynoecium is made up of one or more carpels. Stigma, style, ovary are the part of. Stigma, style, ovary are the part of carpels. Enlarged basal part on which lies the elongated tube, the style is ovary. The style connects to the ovary to stigma. Structure which is usually at the tip of the style and a receptive surface for pollen grains. Stigma. One or more ovules of each ovary attached to a flattened cushion-like structure called placenta. When more than one carpel is present, they may be free and are called apocarpus. When carpels are fused, they are termed as syncarpus. Example for apocarpus condition, lotus and rose. Example for syncarpus condition, mustard and tomato. Mustard and tomato. After fertilization, the ovules develop into seeds. After fertilization, ovary matures into fruit. Arrangement of ovules within the ovary is known as placentation. Placentation are of different types, namely marginal, axial, parietal, basal, central, and free central. If the placenta forms a ridge along the ventral suture of the ovary and the ovules are born on this ridge, forming two rows, such placentation is called marginal placentation. When the placenta is axial and the ovules are attached to it in a multilocular ovary, the placentation is said to be axial placentation. In this placentation, ovules develop on the inner wall of the ovary or on peripheral part. Ovary is one chambered, but it becomes two chambered due to the formation of the false septum. Parietal placentation. When the ovules are born on the central axis and septa are absent, the placentation is called free central. In this placentation, the placenta develops at the base of ovary and a single ovule is attached to it, as in sunflower marigold. Basal placentation. Marginal placentation is seen in pea plant. Axial placentation is seen in China rose, tomato, and lemon. Parietal placentation is seen in mustard and argemone. Free central placentation is seen in dianthus and primrose. Basal placentation is seen in sunflower and marigold. Fruit. The characteristic feature of flowering plants is fruit. Mature or ripened ovary developed after fertilization is termed as fruit. If a fruit is formed without fertilization of the ovary, it is called a parthenocarpic fruit. Generally, the fruit consists of wall or pericarp and seeds. Pericarps is dry and fleshy, may be dry or fleshy. When a pericarp is thick and fleshy, it is differentiated into outer epicarp middle, mesocarp, inner, endocarp. Fruit is known as drupe in mango and coconut. Drupe is developed from monocarpellary superior ovary. Number of seeds in drupe 1. In this plant, the pericarp is well differentiated into an outer thin epicarp, a middle fleshy edible mesocarp, and an inner stony hard endocarp. Mango. In this plant, mesocarp is fibrous. Coconut. Seed. The ovules after fertilization develop into seeds. A seed is made up of coat and an embryo. Part of seed which is made up of radical and embryonal axis and cotyledons. Embryo. Outermost covering of a seed is called seed coat. Embryo with one cotyledons in wheat and maize. Embryos is with two cotyledons in gram and pig. Endosperm formed of a result of double fertilization in castor. Non-endospermous seeds are seen in bean, gram, and pig. Scar on the seed coat through which the developing seeds are attached to the fruit is hilum. Number of layers in seed coat 2. Outer layer of the seed coat is called testa. Inner layer of seed coat is called tegmen. A small pore present above the hilum is called micropyle. Within the seed, the coat is the dash consisting of an embryonal axis and two cotyledons. Within the seed coat is the embryo consisting of an embryonal axis and two cotyledons. Structures which are fleshy and with full of reserve food materials are cotyledons. At the two ends of the embryonal axis, these structures are seen. Radical and plumule. Endosperm formed as a result of double fertilization is a food storing tissue and called endospermic seeds. If endospermic is not present in mature seeds, the seeds are called non-endospermic seeds. Monocotyledon seeds are endospermic. Non-endospermic monocotyledonous plants are orchids. In the seeds of cereals such as maize, the seed coat is membranous, generally fused with the fruit valve. It is bulky and store food in seed, endosperm. Outer covering of endosperm separates the embryo by a proteinous layer called aleurone layer. The dash is a small and situated in a groove at one end of the endosperm. Embryo. Embryo consists of one large and shield-shaped cotyledon known as scutellum. Embryo consists of a short axis with a plumule and radical. If the plumule is enclosed in sheath, it is called coleoptile. If the radical is enclosed in sheath, it is called coleorrhizale. In the floral formula, Br stands for bracteate. In the floral formula, K stands for calyx, C stands for corolla, P stands for perianth, A stands for androecium, G stands for gynoecium. What the symbols on G that we have arrow mark above that G stands for a small line above the G. Superior ovary indicates superior ovary. Here underline G stands for inferior ovary. Given symbols in the floral formula, the given symbol stands for male. It is female, bisexual, actinomorphic nature of flower. Actinomorphic nature of flower. Zygomorphic nature of flower. Given symbol is zygomorphic nature of flower. In the floral formula, fission is indicated by enclosing the figure within bracket. The adhesion is indicated by a line drawn above the symbols. Of the floral parts. This provides information about the number of parts of a flower, their arrangement, and the relation they have with one another. That is floral diagram. The position of the mother axis with respect to the flower is represented by a dot on the top of the floral diagram. Calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium are drawn in successive oles of calyx being the outermost, gynoecium being in the center. In the floral formula also shows if these are shown within the parts of the oles and between oles, cohesion and adhesion. Given floral formula belongs to mustard plant, belongs to family Brassicaceae. This family was earlier called Papilio. This family was earlier called Papilionoideae, a subfamily of Leguminosae, Fabaceae. A large family commonly called as potato family, Solanaceae. Commonly called as lily family is a characteristic representative of monocotyledonous plants. It is distributed worldwide. Liliaceae. Plants of this family are distributed all over the world. Plants of this family distributed all over the world. Fabaceae. Liliaceae also. Family vegetative characters. Perennial heads with underground bulbs or culms or rhizomes in Liliaceae. Family which is widely distributed in tropics, subtropics, even temperate zones. Solanaceae. Trees, shrubs, herbs, root with root nodules. Fabaceae. Leaves mostly basal, alternate, linear, exstipulate, liliaceae with parallel venation, liliaceae. Plants mostly herbs, shrubs, and rarely small trees, Solanaceae. Family stem with erect or climber, Fabaceae. Floral characters, inflorescence, solitary or cymose that flower, often umbellate clusters, Liliaceae. Herbaceous, rarely woody, aerial, erect, cylindrical, branched, solid or hollow, hairy and glabrous underground stem in potato, like Solanum tuberosum, Solanaceae. Bisexual actinomorphic, Liliaceae. Alternate, pinnately compound or simple leaf base, the pulvinate, stipulate, venation, venation radiculate, Fabaceae. Family leaves are alternate, simple, rarely pinnately compound, exstipulate, venation, reticulate, Solanaceae. Inflorescence racemose. Take a minute. Perianth, tepal, 6, 3 plus 3, often united into tube, valvate estivation, liliaceae. Floral character, inflorescence, racemose inflorescence, Fabaceae. Androecium, stamen 6, 3 plus 3, epipetalous, liliaceae. Floral characters, inflorescence, solitary, floral characters, inflorescence, solitary, axillary, or cymose, as in Solanum, Solanaceae. Gynoecium, tricarpellary, syncarpous, ovary superior, trilocular with many ovules, axial placentation, liliaceae. Family, flower, bisexual, zygomorphic, Fabaceae. Bisexual, actinomorphic, bisexual, actinomorphic, Solanaceae. Family, fruit, capsule, rarely berry, liliaceae. Family, flower, calyx, sepals, 5, gamocephalous, valvate or imbricate, estivation, Fabaceae. Flower, family flower, corolla, petals 5, polypetalous, papilionaceous, consisting a posterior, standard, two lateral wings, two anterior ones, forming a keel, enclosing stamens and pistil, vexillary estivation, Fabaceae. Family, seed, endospermous, liliaceae. Floral characters, calyx, sepals 5, united, persistent, valvate, estivation, Solanaceae. Aloe is source of medicine. Family, flower, Androecium 10, diadelphous, anther, diaticus, lilies. Sorry, Fabies. Floral characters, corolla, petals, 5, united, valve, estivation. Solenes. Floral formula. The given floral formula belongs to lilies. Gynoecium, ovary superior, monocarpellary, unilocular, with many ovule style single. Fabace. Tulip gloriosa are good ornamentals. Lilies. Aloe is also belongs to lilies. Tulip and gloriosa are good ornamentals. Lilies. Fruit, legume, seed, one many non-endospermic. Fabace. Androecium, stamens 5, epipetalous. Solenes. Floral formula. The given floral formula belongs to Fabace. Floral characters, gynoecium, bicarpellary, obligately placed, syncarpus, ovary superior, bilocular, placenta swollen with many ovules, exhale in Solenes. Gram, arhar, sem, moong, soybean are pulses. Fabace. Tomato, brinjal, potato are source of food. Solenes. Soybean and groundnut are edible oil. We get Fabace. Family floral characters, fruits, berry or capsule. Solenes. Indigofera is. Indigofera is. It's a dye. Yeah, helpful to produce the dye. Fabace. Asparagus is vegetable. Liliaceae it belongs to. Chili is spice, belongs to Solenes. Sun hemp is, it's a fiber, belongs to Fabace. Family seeds many endospermous. Solenes. Sesbania and trifolium is fodder. Fabace. Family floral formula. Given floral formula belongs to Solenes. Lupin and sweet pea are ornamentals. Belongs to Fabace. Belladonna, ashwagandha are medicine. Solenes. Muliati is medicine. Fabace. Tobacco is fumigatory. Tobacco is fumigatory. Belongs to Solenes. Petunia is ornamental and belongs to Solenes. Colchicine is obtained from Colchicum autumnale. Colchicum belongs to lilies. That's it. Thank you.